George Mikwa from Kenya Independent Schools Association. KISA is a national association of private schools serving urban low-income households in Kenya. KISA was established in 1999 and has over 1,000 member schools. It works to enhance schools' internal capacities and improve the policy and regulatory framework in which they operate.
In Kenyan system, especially when you are a school provider, they used to call us non-formal schools until Professor James Truly came with a different term for us. When you want to tell a provider that there's something that is called government and there's something that is called legislation, I think it's like, if you know about the game parks, it's like you are telling a zebra or an antelope that a lion is coming. You run as fast as you can because of the frustration that we were experiencing. For instance, let me say that about 6 years ago, if you could go to any government office and say that you are offering private education for the poor, I mean, somebody would not want to see you again. And it's like, what you are doing, you are not supposed to do it because these people are not supposed to get education. They live in a different world. We don't know about them. A case in point is, when we were doing national examination in Kenya, that is done in grade 8, and it's called Kenya Certificate of Primary Education, we are supposed to pay even lesser fee because we are working with the poor. And during those days, the state schools and private schools were being charged 300 Kenya shillings for sitting for the national examination, and we were paying double registration fee. So they pay 300 and we pay 600 because we were not supposed to be given a chance so that our children sit national examination. Number two, we were working very hard to make sure that children pass examination out of all those difficulties. But then even when the results come out, we were not given a chance for our children to be selected to join high school. In fact, the results used to come out. You go to adult education department, we were not even the Ministry of Education. We were doing the national examination under the Department of Adult Education and registering our candidates as private candidates. Number one, you pay double registration fee. Number two, you have to go there when you have taken a passport, that's a small size photograph, for them to ascertain that really you are the one who is going to sit this examination. It's not any other person. So the supervisor would look at it and then look at the person who is sitting in examination, confirm whether this is the right person. So that treatment is like, this child is not a Kenyan. This child belongs somewhere else. So those kind of treatments are everything that we had, we were experiencing with the loss of the government. You would go anywhere and start talking about the education that we are giving. And any officer would stand up and tell you that you are giving a substandard education. Because first of all, you are working with teachers who are trained and you don't have facilities to offer good education and anything that goes with it. And I think I couple that by the fact that during those days, we were not given a chance to show how good we are. Because our results were not tabled with the results of state schools. So anybody would have any reason to tell you that you are giving substandard education because he has suppressed you so much with the law that he has. And that law, when you go to him that is supposed to change it, he wants to hear nothing about it. And in most cases, our schools were regarded as the schools for street boys and orphans. Of course, they form the majority, and we take care of them, they're important. But then they didn't want to associate themselves with that kind of a thing, and somebody throws you away, somebody is supposed to be protecting you. So this one is a case in point, and what is so important about this is that is why we thought that as head teachers, it is important for us to come together and form a formidable force so that we can go on and fight. Because without fighting, then you can achieve nothing. And I think out of that, I remember when Professor James Truly came to Nairobi and went to the Minister of Education, that is how we met. When he went to the Minister of Education and then he was inquiring about private schools that are existing in the slums, the minister told him, you are sick. There is no private schools in the slums. The private schools are there for the elite, and the second is state school. So there's nothing about private schools in the slums. But then when Professor walked around, he met me and we went and he found thousands of schools in the Shanty South in Kibera, and the learning of those schools out of the test that he gave proved that we were doing better than the government-run schools. And I think that is cutting across even to the providers in India and anywhere. So out of what we did, because the time is short, what is the medicine that we did to treat the kind of disease that we had? One, I think the only issue that we brought up together is that when we formed the association, we started fighting. And what did we achieve? Number one, the payment of KCP registration that was being charged at a double cost was reduced to 300. So from 2005, our children were paying 300 as state schools, and we were also appearing in the computer for selection board. For example, if we have a child from a private local school who has gotten possible 300 or 400 marks out of possible 500, and 400 marks are going to national schools, then they will be taken directly to national schools. We managed to achieve that, and it's now working as an association. And we used not to participate in sports. Currently, we participate in sports with the state schools, and I can assure you, as I stand here, we are doing better than them in Kenya. If you visit some of our schools and you look at the sets of the head teachers and you see thousands of trophies all over, so many trophies that we have achieved. I also saw that when we visited one of the schools here. So I think it's just like the same thing. In the Ministry of Education, we have a senior deputy director of education that is in charge of the private local schools in the Republic of Kenya. Because of that force, the minister decided to create for us a unit. So if we have anything that we want to approach the government about, then we have a senior deputy director of education that we go to and is able to address our issues as fast as we can. And then during the implementation of free primary education, the government was giving money for buying school supplies. It's called free primary education money. We also advocated for it, and I think about 600 of our schools are receiving money for school supplies. We also receive it to buy those things. And then one that is important, and maybe I will say this is an important point. Last year when we were launching a scholarship for kids, we are doing scholarship, I didn't have time to explain that. We are doing scholarship for about 1,500 children in Kenya. And it's a program that is supported by Scholarship for Kids, a UK charity that's called Baldman Charitable Trust. When we were doing a launch of Scholarship for Kids, we invited the Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister attended our function. And when we invited him, we told him that he will be with us from 3 up to 4. But then I think because of the entertainment and the new thing that he was learning, he was with us from 3 up to 6:30. He didn't even want to leave to go back to his office. And he came with the Minister of Education and also Assistant Minister of Education. So all put together, what I can say is that the formidable forces formed together, and the advocacy that we can talk about can change things for the better. Thank you so much.